Hi, my name is Pat Smith. Today I'd like to show you our vacuum dryer product line. We introduced the vacuum dryer in June of 2000, and since that time we have shipped over 2,000 units. It's become a very well accepted and very popular method to dry materials all over the world. We have 4 models of the vacuum dryer. What you're looking at here is the LPD 30, which is 30 pounds an hour. We also have the LPD 100, 200, and 750. The LPD 750 is the largest dryer that we offer at this point. Let me explain to you a little bit about the LPD. LPD stands for low pressure dryer. We use vacuum to dry materials. Now when you compare a vacuum dryer to a desiccant dryer, there are a number of key differences. Number one, with a desiccant dryer, desiccant is used to pull moisture out of air, and then that dry air is forced through the pellets, and that is how the moisture is then slowly drawn out of the pellet. With vacuum, it's a very different process. First of all, there's no desiccant in the process. What we do is we heat the material up to temperature, just as you would with a desiccant dryer. And once the material is at temperature, we apply vacuum. When we apply vacuum to the material, the boiling point of water is reduced from 212 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level to 133 degrees Fahrenheit. So what happens is any moisture that is trapped inside the pellet instantaneously becomes water vapor. So you have very high vapor pressure inside the pellet and no pressure outside the pellet because in fact you're in vacuum. And so the moisture very rapidly moves outside the pellet into the ambient conditions. And so what the end result is that we dry material 6 times faster than a desiccant dryer. That speed is very important. First of all, if you're drying polycarbonate with a desiccant dryer, the material manufacturer will tell you that you have to dry that material for 4 hours. With this device, you only have to dry that material for 40 minutes. That speed is very obvious as far as it can help your productivity. Number 2 is there is no desiccant in this unit. Desiccant absorbs moisture and eventually becomes saturated. When desiccant is saturated, it has to be regenerated. The way to regenerate desiccant is to drive the temperature of the desiccant up, typically to about 500 degrees Fahrenheit. That drives the moisture off, and then you have to cool it back down. The key is that all of the energy that is used to dry desiccant is wasted. It goes to the ambient air outside the dryer, and you've basically lost that energy. It absolutely just does not come into play with a vacuum dryer. Another very important part of the benefit of vacuum drying is that because we are drying so quickly, we are exposing the material to the elevated drying temperatures in a much shorter period of time, typically 1/6 the time. Therefore, the risk of material degradation when that material is being exposed to the elevated temperatures of drying is dramatically reduced with vacuum drying. Okay, let me show you how the vacuum dryer works. Inside the dryer, we have 3 canisters which represent 3 stages of drying. In this rear position in the back right corner, that is the first stage where we load that canister with material and we bring that material up to temperature. We have a blower down here and a heater, and we circulate that air through that canister and we bring the material up to temperature. Typically it takes about 20 minutes to get that amount of material up to the appropriate temperature. After 20 minutes, the unit automatically indexes, so the hot material comes back to the rear left corner, and we start the first stage again by filling and heating that material. In the second stage, we seal the canister top and bottom, and we draw a vacuum. Again, after 20 minutes, we have another canister full of hot material. We have a canister full of dry material, which we now index to this third position, or the third stage. And at that position, we have dry material that is available for the process. We seal the canister top and bottom to eliminate any moisture regain, and we then drop material into the takeoff box, and we deliver that material to the process. Okay, let me show you how we do a material change. Canisters are very easily removed from the carousel. All surfaces that touch material are very easily accessed on the canister, so clean out is very quick. Once that canister is clean, you simply put it back in, and then you can clean the other canisters in the same manner. Okay, let me review the control of the vacuum dryer. First of all, we have a power switch down here in the power supply box. Up here on the side of the controller, we have a variety of indicators. First of all, there is a strobe light on the controller and a horn to notify you of any alarm conditions, and this is an alarm silence button. We have some indicator lights here to show when we started a cycle, when we have stopped a cycle, and when the unit is indexing. We have a mode switch, which you can set it for auto or for clean. If you've set it for clean, the unit will alarm as soon as it indexes, so it notifies you that it is time to clean out a canister. Another capability of this vacuum dryer is that this unit has the ability to convey material from the dryer to the process. By turning on this convey mode, what that does is it permits the blower to briefly go offline, generate vacuum at the receiver that is mounted on the process machine, and then thus convey dry material to the process machine. This button down here allows you to set convey time. We provide 2 receivers for your loading requirements. We have what we call the ADR1 and the ADR4, and these devices will mount directly on the throat of the machine to convey material. Here we're showing the front panel of the controller. This allows you to set the conditions that you require for the material that you're processing. So for instance, if you're running PET, first of all you would set the temperature to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. For PET, we recommend a 30-minute cycle time. So we would set that at 30. And now basically you are ready to run, and you can just turn the unit on and it will operate. The control also has a 2-line 40-character display. This display will allow you to show temperature, level of vacuum, or if you have an alarm, it will describe the alarm condition at that moment. And we also have a keypad that allows you to access the microprocessor in case you require troubleshooting information. Okay, let me do a quick summary of the benefits of vacuum drying. First of all, 70 to 80% less energy consumption because we don't have desiccant to regenerate. Secondly, since we dry 6 times faster than a desiccant dryer, that speed is very important in how it can influence your productivity in your processing facility. Another important difference in vacuum drying to desiccant drying is that ambient conditions have no influence on the efficiency of this dryer. With the desiccant dryer, in the months of May, June, July, August, when relative humidity is very high, there are many desiccant dryers that do not operate very well, and people struggle with drying issues during that period of time. Since we dry in a vacuum, we have eliminated the effects of relative humidity on the drying process. We are drying in a vacuum, so the relative humidity in the ambient condition has no influence on how this dryer performs. With this unit, another popular benefit of the unit is very low maintenance. First of all, there is no desiccant bed, so we have no desiccant that we have to worry about maintaining or replacing when it degrades. We don't have to worry about desiccant beds being contaminated for any reason, so we've eliminated that maintenance item. There are 2 maintenance items on this dryer that you need to be concerned of. First of all, there is a filter that protects the blower from dust. The filter is located down here on the lower right-hand side. It is a simple automotive filter that is easily accessed and easily cleaned. And the second maintenance item would be the seals. Since we seal the canister top and bottom, those gaskets are wear items. Now we warranty those gaskets for 5 years, but after a period of time we expect that those gaskets will have to be replaced. And so that is the second maintenance item. Another very interesting benefit of the vacuum dryer is that we have about 50% of the footprint of a desiccant dryer. This is a 30-pound-an-hour unit. You can see that it is very small and requires very little floor space. Another benefit of vacuum drying is that we are able to change material on the fly. The fact that we have 3 different batches in the process allows us to, prior to indexing to start a new cycle, we can remove that canister, clean it, place it back in, and then fill it with the new material that is about to be dried. So in fact, you are truly changing material on the fly. Finally, I'd like to talk a little bit about price. Typically, a vacuum dryer is priced about the same as a desiccant dryer. We have the benefit of the savings of, number one, no desiccant beds, no regeneration circuit, so we save a lot of money with regard to that, and we don't have a drying hopper. The canister is actually the drying hopper. So unlike a desiccant dryer, where you have to have a very large drying hopper that can hold 4 hours worth of material, we've eliminated the size and the expense of that drying hopper, and that allows us to keep our price competitive.